half a dozen staff members scattered throughout the 10 buses, making sure that the kids were getting on safely, and when the coast was clear, we could release the buses. Clearly, we don't have to do that. There's enough of a line or sidewalk that you can actually park 5 buses. If they were all in at one time, we could load. We're training the students to walk away from the curb, and if we need to paint a line, I'll do so, but we're learning how to stay on the right side, left side. The 3 staff members are kind of rotating. They have signs. I've got bus 6, and everybody follows bus 6 leader and onto the bus. We'll probably transition that over to kids. Eventually they'll know that that's their bus, they're the first ones there, and it won't have to happen. But right now there's a lot of modeling going on. 4th graders used to it, and it was a wonderful sight. On the first week of school, every day they would take their kindergarten buddies and they'd walk them all out to their buses. And you see these 4th graders walking with kindergartners. Now you see a scattering. Bus 6 will show up with 4 kindergartners and 3 or 4 4th graders. And then they, if they're not on that bus, will go back and wait for their dismissal to pick up on. So that's been the change. The staff has also gotten used to the first day a few kids missed their first 2 buses because we used to hear the bell at 2:45 and we didn't dismiss till 5:03 because the buses weren't there. So they would just continue teaching and learning. And now we're like retraining. That bell goes, we're dismissing because there's 2 buses here. So, and it's 45 after that. And I think, like I say, it's a little bit of a change, but that's nothing too hard to get used to. Parent pickup has been running smooth as silk this year. Knock on wood. So.
How many kids because they said in Chatham at the elementary school there's 100 or so. Mm-hmm. How many for Harwich with more than double the parents?
On the average, we have 67 school choice parents, and I'll give you more details with that next time about our numbers. But there's at least 100 to 130, depends on the day.
If it was the same ratio, it would be like 250 for Chatham.
I think it's a very unique culture that
yes.
happens over at Chatham
I think so too. Thank you very much.
I agree with that.
Any questions? Entertain a motion?
I move to adopt the Harwich Elementary School Family Handbook for 2014-2015.
Wait a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Voted unanimously. Next on the agenda, school committee goals and superintendent action items. Ms. Scott.
This, I believe, or I should say, this is us adopting the superintendent evaluation plan so we can move forward with our evaluation of Mr. Carpenter. So we need to approve the 4 goals that were passed out with the key actions beneath them. So I guess I could move, since I'm in that role, to adopt the superintendent evaluation plan from 2013-2014.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Do I have any questions? All those in favor of accepting the superintendent evaluation plan?
Aye.
Aye.
So voted unanimously. So
Easy.
time frame for people completing the packet? Next meeting?
Next meeting, we just need your evidence. Prove it. No, well, yes, a binder provided at the superintendent's office.
Do you want me to send the document that I shared with the subcommittee
Yes,
out to everybody?
your
Okay.
self-evaluation
Okay.
would be lovely. And then we can use that to evaluate.
Very good.
And then if we
Works.
turn in the evaluation rubric, the 7-page document, we'll turn that into Terry prior to the next meeting or
Right.
for the next meeting?
At the
Well,
next
we're gonna
At the
get
next
an
meeting.
electronic version of that out.
The electronic version that I tried to play with was not playing nice.
Okay.
It was not a fillable PDF. There was a Word document, and it took a couple of steps to actually use it properly.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's very user-friendly.
And
to
for
do-
Terry, we need it to be very user-friendly.
So I'm thinking maybe just hard copies are good,
Yeah, okay.
and then if necessary, I or somebody else can help compile it into a fancy document.
So everyone has homework for the next meeting, with the exception of Amanda, because she's exempt, but she wasn't here.
Forgot about that.
Subcommittee reports. Any subcommittee reports?
I think we just reported.
There you go. Hearing none, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Briefly. So, in terms of my punch list here, we'll have our September newsletter has been slightly delayed. We retired off our Monomoy Regional Newsletter editor, who was Paul, and so we're putting together the September newsletter, which should go out in the next day or so to families, as just little highlights of some of the neat things that have been going on over the summer and the opening days. Talk about busing. I guess to foreshadow what we'll talk about at our next school committee meeting. The next school committee meeting's a week before the official October 1 numbers are going out. That I had already talked with the principals about having the enrollment numbers so that we can do an enrollment, we'll call it a preliminary October 1 presentation, because I think we're about to launch into FY16 budget conversations, and those numbers I think are something we need to start with. One of the things that just to at least alert to the committee to sometimes some things like when Bill says we've got 51 new kids, it's a good thing. It's a challenging thing too. We talked about wanting to have class size norms. So what we'll be able to present at our next school committee meeting are what the class sizes really look like in Sam's building, Adam's building, the middle school, and at the high school. And so to sort of foreshadow some of the things that you'll see. One of the challenges putting together the program and trying to figure out what the staffing should be for the high school is, we never had students sign up for the Monomoy Regional High School Program studies. This was just trying to assume this is what the staffing would need to be at various areas. So we have some class sizes that are going off at the high school that I would argue are above what our enrollment guidelines would be. And clearly there's some that are less, but I think you'll get a feel for where we are relative to enrollment, how this impacts the building project. I sent an email to our furniture consultant and to the co-chairs and our project manager saying, here are the number of student desks and chairs and stools and tables that we need to purchase to accommodate 51 students and the enrollment growth that we've seen. So so the building was built to have 24 student desks in classrooms. All's fine unless you have a class that's going off at 25 or 26. So we've identified where we need to get additional tables and chairs, and so Jay O'Leary, who has been working as our move manager, he has been jockeying furniture around the building to sort of triage things as needed, and we actually have gone to the extent of taking some of our surplus jungle gym desks, the chair desk combos, and sort of deploy those so we can free up desks to move around while we're waiting for the furniture to arrive. But we'll be needing to order some additional furniture to accommodate additional students. It's one of those good bad problems. So that's, you'll get a feel for what enrollment looks like. And I think that's gonna have to drive some of our budget conversations as we launch into this. And, I think that both at the high school and at the middle school level, there are some positive things in terms of how the enrollment shifts are going that will come back and benefit our budget when we consider school choice dollars and the direction that money's all of the tuition dollars that have been flowing out and some less flowing out and a little bit more tuition dollar flowing in. So it's a good problem to have.
Following up on that, will we have any preliminary ideas in terms of how the enrollment will affect our ongoing 3-year rolling enrollment figures for budget purposes?
We should. In fact, I was doing my, as Bill was showing me the numbers just before the meeting, and I was just doing my own little, little calculations on how many, in terms of move-ins, so it looks like on this, there's, families that chose to move in, 10 kids moved here from Harwich, 6 from Chatham, so that would actually go in Harwich's favor, because it's that ratio is better than the 27% Chatham, and then we have families returning or kids that have been out returning back to Monomoy, and again that's I think that's probably sitting right around what that ratio has been at, but I think we'll have a feel for how that's changing. We'll also get some of the first glimpses of shifts that are starting to happen at the very early grade levels at both elementary schools. So that I think we'll have a bigger presentation, but it'll sort of be we'll call it pre-October 1 numbers. But I think that then positions us to start talking about some basic budget things and upcoming conversations. And I think that it's I mentioned this to Bill earlier today. If you think of some of the class sizes that that are currently going off at the high school, where we're having to add furniture to a room, keep in mind that in budget season, there were some that were advocating that we should lay off another 20 teachers, and there would be no way we could have this school function had we gone to that that extreme. And I think that's that's just just sort of a baseline. Other quick things. Joan Goggins went and put something out to the staff on various mandated trainings that the staff will do, and there's a series of things that every year we need to kind of by law make sure that we are understanding the civil rights laws, mandated reporting of children. One of those things that also appears in that packet is the conflict of interest law sign-off. And I just wanted to share with the committee that that I'll send you a link, because as Monomoy Regional School Committee members, every 2 years, you too have the pleasure of taking the State Ethics Commission online training for the conflict of interest laws. So, so what we put out to the staff is that that you need to provide a copy of this certificate that's dated at least every 2 years. So if you haven't had the pleasure to do the online ethics training in the last 2 years, they have some great videos that they have to train.
This year, I'm gonna pass.
It's on our website.
So another thing that Katie and I have been collecting some information on that I think will be part of upcoming conversations are facility and field use rental fees. So we have collected all of the facilities use numbers for every Cape school district and the town of Harwich and town of Chatham in terms of what they would charge to rent out a space like this. It's important to note that many of the facilities lights are extra. So
It's just so easy.
Can we get one of those things you put on the wall that have to put quarters in to keep the lights on?
So, today we had our first meeting of the year with the Ed Council, which is all of the stipended instructional leaders for the school district, and sort of started that first process of helping them develop capacity to lead the professional learning communities that we will be having with every other Wednesday's early release. So starting next Wednesday will be the first day for those. So we started as a group to do some norming of our group in terms of how our meetings would run, and really have kind of looked at that as a starting place for the for our professional learning communities and how they'll move forward. And then I expect that as the year goes on, you'll hear from some of those groups in terms of the work that they're doing. So that's it for me. Sorry, it's too late.
Meeting's
Told
over.
you I would agree.
Told you were out of time.
Keep flicking your Bic.
We start a
Hey,
fire
a
in
little
the
bit
desk,
more
will
light.
emergency lights come on.
So my question is, and maybe you could make sure this is in the minutes. When something goes out to all parents, could you add our emails on that so we could see that?
I have two schools covered.
Yes, I think it is, but
Because I have never gotten any school newsletter at all, ever.
I think she really wants the robocalls.
No, I don't want the robocalls.
right. I will. I think when we do the parents, I thought the school committee was on that, but we can go and add that. I know you. I think you get when we do the Connect Ed, you get some of the emails. Yes. No. Well, you get the parent ones.
I get
I'd have
I don't
to
get any emails.
I'd have to go with Glenn as Glenn and Ed as my case studies, that you're not getting it as sort of a spouse or something else.
You get them?
No. All right.
Connected?
We can check in.
You don't get them?
All right. And it just
Used to
one.
get 'em.
Not the answer you wanted.
But an easy one to fix. And then one other thing related to furniture, and that's surplus. And so while we haven't had a little surplus thing to vote on, there still is surplus that will be coming to you. So there are many jungle gym chairs, and so we went and saved stuff just to try to figure out what we would need. So there's still stuff that we will be surplusing. So Steve will have something to do at an upcoming school committee.
You just have to make sure he's not carrying.
All right, that's it.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to go to executive session.
Second?
Okay, Jaworski,
Aye.
Whitaker,
Aye.
Aye.
aye, that makes it unanimous. We will not be returning to regular session at the end of the executive.